Hello and welcome back to the Alexander Rossi Career Series here on BoxBoxBoxGaming with F1 2016. My name is Justin, and today we'll be taking part in the practice and qualifying sessions for the 12th round of this 2016 season from the Hockenheim Ring in Germany. So it's obviously been quite a while since my last F1 2016 career mode video. I really wanted to get this up as quickly as I could for you guys, because I know some of you are probably very worried that I've given up just like I did with Pro Season, but no, that's not the case. I did just recently get a new wheel, a Thrustmaster TMX Xbox One and PC wheel. Let's have a quick look at the R&D event here before we continue talking about that sort of stuff. I do believe we brought a drag reduction upgrade, if I'm not mistaken. Or did we not bring an upgrade to this race? We're about to find out, so... Let's see here. Yep, we did get a drag reduction upgrade. Obviously, very long straight heading into the Turn 6 hairpin here at Hockenheim. And then after this, we've got Spa and Monza as well. So a trio of power circuits. So as you can see on the left-hand side in the news feed, nobody else has brought upgrades. No other teams have brought upgrades to Germany. We are the only team that brought any sort of upgrades whatsoever. We were fourth fastest, and it looks like we have surpassed Ferrari. If you look at the vehicle performance comparison on the right-hand side, we are just marginally, by the smallest of amounts, we are just marginally ahead of Ferrari now. So now the third fastest car on the grid. Now, my goal here is to get enough resource points this weekend at Hockenheim in order to get that engine power upgrade for 775 resource points heading into the Spa and Monza weekends. Having that extra engine power would be super duper helpful. So that is my plan. But yeah, so I got a new wheel, and then also I got a new schedule at work. Previously, I was working from 10 a.m. in the morning until 5 p.m. at night. Now I'm working 1 p.m. in the afternoon until 10 p.m. at night. Which means really the only time, just having a quick look at the weather for you guys on the right-hand side, you can see it's going to be raining all throughout FP1. And then I had a quick look. Yeah, P2 looks like it's going to be wet and then become dry. P3 is going to be dry and then become wet. And then qualifying is going to be totally dry. And then the race is going to be wet followed by dry. So quite a mixed conditions weekend ahead of us. So I've got a new schedule at work. Previously, what I was doing was pretty much as soon as I get off work at 5 o'clock, I'd start recording F1, or very shortly after, within an hour or two. It takes me about 2.5 hours to record a race weekend. FP1, FP2, FP3, qualifying, the race, and the race replay. Because as you guys know, I do record the replays of the races so that I can get some nice camera angles in there. You can see I'm actually going through my setup here, something that I don't normally do. In fact, I'm about to cancel this. We're going to skip forward to a different part. So I went out and I did some practice in FP1, but I did not do any of the practice programs. Now we can see Romain Grosjean third fastest with a 130.1 on inters. And you'd expect me to be right up there with him. However, because of the new wheel, I am right down at the back. You can see I'm only 3/100ths of a second slower than Felipe Nasser. And you really need to keep in mind that that was my first ever session using the Thrustmaster TMX. Now, the wheel is fantastic. It is so much better than my Logitech Driving Force GT. It's mind-blowing to me. The TMX is very much an entry-level wheel. It's $200 here in America if you get it not on sale. I believe you can get it at newegg.com for about $170 was the last price point that I saw it at. It was on sale for, I think, 15% off, which took it down to $170, which is a fantastic deal in my opinion. I think I paid $150 for my Logitech Driving Force GT, and that was 3.5 years ago now, guys. Like, I didn't really realize how long I've been using this DFGT until I got the TMX. And yeah, it was January 2013, I believe, was when I started. Yeah, it was. January 2013 was when I got my Driving Force GT. So that is over 3.5 years. That's 3 years and 8 months I've been using that DFGT. And I've never used any other wheel until now. So this is very much new. So we're out for the tire management test. Now I did do the track acclimatization test, and I did get purple on it. However, I wasn't recording, I think. I forgot to record, or I may have accidentally deleted the footage of it. I'm not 100% certain on what happened. But we're in FP2. We've already gotten purple for the track acclimatization test, and we are now out on slick tires. And you can see running very, very wide at the exit of that corner, losing quite a bit of time on the delta at the top right-hand side. I am running quite a low downforce setup compared to the AI, it would seem. Braking very early for this corner because basically what I'm trying to get at here with this new wheel. The funny thing is, it's not even the wheel that's throwing me off; it's the pedals. Now, again, the only thing I can compare it to is the DFGT, and the TMX pedals feel so much better. There's a lot more resistance to them, which makes it easier to be more precise with them. So in the end, I have no doubts whatsoever that I will be faster with this wheel. Than I was with the DFGT. So coming to the end of the tire management test, and you can see we got a purple there, and I did go on, I believe, to get purples for this one. We're going to find that out right now. So at the end of FP2, again, a bit of a crazy session. You can see pretty much everyone that I was faster than was on intermediate tires. So I really, again, I'm clearly struggling. You can see I'm smack dab in between Ericsson and Harrianto. So, and I think Harrianto was on mediums. So yeah, my pace is definitely down. I've definitely lost some pace after switching to the TMX. However, the potential is much, much better. So there you can see, yeah, we got 50 points for the track acclimatization program. I think I actually ended up failing the tire management test. I don't remember why. I don't remember exactly what happened. Yeah, you could see, yeah, tire management. I ended up failing despite getting purple on that first lap. I think I got purple on the second lap as well. And then I just couldn't do it a third time. I don't know what it was. It was very, very strange stuff. So here we are in FP3 now. And we're going to be doing the qualifying pace program, of course, and we're going to be doing it on the super soft tires. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you know, in a weekend where it was so important for me to get as many resource points as possible so that I could have the engine upgrade for Spa, it seems that it's just going to be very, very difficult for me to do that because I just don't have the confidence in the pedals. And again, the pedals are better with the TMX. It's just that I'm not used to them. So what you're going to see throughout the course of this weekend, you're going to see me braking not enough. I won't brake enough for the corner, and you'll see me go right off the track. Or like at turn 6 earlier in the video, you'll see I just went a little bit wide because I just carried a little bit too much speed, just didn't get on the brakes. Things like that. I mean, you'll see me lock up into corners. You'll see me lock up one wheel into corners. You'll see me lock up two wheels into the corners. You'll see me brake incredibly late. You'll see me brake incredibly early, just all sorts of braking problems. Now, the throttle, I was able to get to grips with a little bit quicker than the brakes. The brakes are my main issue. And again, it's just a matter of becoming used to the brakes. So I'm very, very happy that I got this TMX. I'm extremely happy. It is so much better than the DFGT, and at a very similar price point. I mean, if Logitech was still making the Driving Force GT, or if they were making a similar wheel to the Driving Force GT, this would be a direct competitor to it, the Thrustmaster TMX, because it's a similar sort of price point. You know, it's $200 or less, depending on if you can find it on sale or not, and it's very much an entry-level wheel. But it just feels so much better. The force feedback is better on it. The pedals are better on it. The paddle shifting is better on it. Another thing that you're going to see me making mistakes as a result of just adjusting to the new wheel is the DRS. The DRS button on the TMX is on the left side, so I actually have to use my left hand to open up the DRS. Whereas with the DFGT, I was opening up the DRS with my right hand. So that was a bit of an adjustment for sure. You can see I failed by about 4/10 to do the qualifying program, and that was actually the closest I got. Now, on the bright side, we were 11th faster in that session with a 1:19.775, but that's still 1.1 seconds slower than our teammate. So you can see we are right down the order. I mean, Ricardo and Massa were behind us, but Ricardo was on mediums and Massa was on softs. So that's really not a representation of how fast they are in comparison to me. So yeah, not going to get much resource points, unfortunately, for that session. Just 30. That brings us up to 455. Again, we need 775 resource points at the end of this weekend if we want that engine upgrade heading into Belgium. So for the qualifying, they want me to qualify 7th or higher, and they want me to beat Bottas and Grosjean. I can tell you right now that is probably not going to happen, because I'm very much still coming to grips with this TMX. So, but again, I am very, very happy with it. I cannot, and I'm very happy with it as a wheel, but I'm also very happy because it is compatible with Forza Horizon 3, and I wanted to be able to do some Forza Horizon 3 videos on the channel. So, heading to qualifying now, though, with our TMX for the first time. And yeah, I have to say I'm not confident. Now, on the bright side, this should make the race a little bit interesting. You know, recently in this series, we've been qualifying pretty well and then just dropping down the order in the race. Whereas with this, hopefully, well, not hopefully, we'll qualify poorly, but yeah, I don't expect us to get into Q3. However, you know, that means that maybe we can make up positions in the race for once rather than just dropping down the order. So that would be fantastic if that was the case. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a good race on our hands. Again, it is supposed to be wet at the beginning of the race, but then it is supposed to dry out. So hopefully that'll be helpful. But, you know, the wet conditions, which would have helped me on the DFGT, because of my inexperience with the TMX, I just don't have the confidence under braking, and wet weather conditions just really highlights that flaw that I have right now. So yeah, I don't have the utmost of confidence in this qualifying session here at Hockenheim, but I'm still pretty confident that we can get into the points. I'm getting more and more comfortable with the wheel as I use it, as I continue to use it. So hopefully things will only continue to improve. So we're going to go ahead and head out in Q1. I can tell you I did try to set a time in Q1 on the softs, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't think it went very well. No, I didn't. Never mind, sorry. Yeah, I just went straight out on the super softs because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get through on the softs. So just headed straight out on the super soft tires. Just put in a lap, but unfortunately I am slower than Nasser on that, based on that current lap. It was a 1:20.678. Remember, my teammate Romain Grosjean putting in 1:18s on the super softs during the practice session. So I've got a couple of seconds. There you go, Grosjean, fastest lap with a 1:18.3, I believe that said. So that is my target. I need to find about 2.3 seconds if I want to be competitive with my teammate. We are 7/10 up, heading into the sort of stadium section here, the left and then the right. Before heading into the, I believe it's called the Mobile 1 curve, is what this high-speed right-hander up here is called. 4th gear corner on the inters, but 5th gear corner on the slicks. Probably could have carried a little bit more speed through there, using that board on the right-hand side, the F1 2016 board on the right-hand side as a braking marker. Probably could be braking a little bit later than that, but again, I just don't have the confidence on the brakes with this new TMX wheel just yet. Going to need a lot more practice. However, it does look like this lap is going to be a pretty significant improvement. Not the 2.3 seconds that we needed, but still 1.1 seconds quicker. That's going to give us a 1:19.6, and hopefully that will be enough for us to move on to the next session. So back in the garage now, and we're gonna probably be heading straight back out, I would imagine. Yeah, we're sat in between Bottas and Magnussen. That's not a good sign. Yeah, and look at all the people that have still yet to set a lap. Ricardo, Raikkonen, Massa, Hulkenberg, Kvyat. Yeah, all these guys are probably going to be going faster than me. So, you know, I'm hoping for the best. I'm fast-forwarding through this. But Marcus Ericsson put in a lap that was a quarter of a tenth quicker than mine. So, Yeah. Yep, and I'm down to 17th. So I'm going to have to head back out there. There is 8 minutes remaining in the session, and there's not too many cars out on track, though, so I'm going to go ahead and throw on a brand new set of super soft tires, and we're going to head out there one more time. Now, unfortunately, I am going to have to burn the set of super soft tires that I was scheduled to use for Q2. So unfortunately, this means that even if I do make it into Q2, I almost certainly will not be making it into Q3, because the only set of tires that I'll have available to me in Q2 will be that set of yellow marked soft compound tires. So it's not looking good for me to get into the top 10. However, I do at least want to get out of Q1. Because that would be pretty embarrassing if I got knocked out in Q1. So here we go for attempt number 2 on the super soft tires here in Q1 in the Haas. Yes, I know I'm slower than Roman. Yeah, and now I'm even down to 18th. I'm smack dab in between Ericsson and Harrianto. So, yeah, it's really not gone well so far. Again, the target time, or the time that I have on the board at the moment is a 1:19.6, so we're going to try and beat that. Heading across the start-finish line and into turn number 1. And just trying not to extend there. I really am trying to respect the track limits as much as I can. But again, because of the braking, the lack of confidence that I have under braking, it's really quite difficult. Really holding a tight line into turn 2. Really tight line, so I can get get on the throttle as early as I can through the left-hander before coming onto this very long straight. Through the parabolica into the turn 6 hairpin. Breaking down into second gear very nicely, clipping the apex and getting on the throttle very nicely. Look at that, 4/10 up on my previous lap. So I think we're already in a good position to get out of Q1. But then again, you know, once we get out of Q1, I think we're really going to struggle. So we might be starting from 16th position here. Very possible. Unfortunately, losing a bit of time, but then getting some time back here as we get into the final sector now. 3 and a bit tenths up on our previous time. 5/10 up now, braking quite a bit later for this cambered left-hand corner in the final sector, and then into the quick left and then right, and then the double right-hander, or 7/10 up on the time that we had previously. Now a full second up, losing a 10th through the final corner, but then picking up quite a bit of time at the exit of the corner, and that is going to be enough for a 1:18.4. Which is just a 10th slower than Romain Grosjean. Now, I set my time quite a bit later in the session, so there might be some extra rubber on the circuit, potentially, that's contributing to that. But, yeah, I'm happy with that. I will take that time. That is by far the fastest time that I've set all weekend. And you can see, there we are. Sat right behind Grosjean. Oh, wait, never mind. Grosjean just went faster. But still, we're less than 4/10 slower than Romain Grosjean at this point. So that's good. I was able to put in a lap time that's good enough for 9th position. But again, we're not going to have a set of super softs for Q2. We're only going to have a set of softs, which means we are almost certainly going to get knocked out in Q2. So who did get knocked out? It was Renault Manor Sauber. So, in that order, Palmer, Harrianto, Ericsson, Magnussen, Wehrlein, and Nasser. Wow, Nasser really struggling there. So yeah, that is those are the guys that are getting knocked out in Q1. We are going to go ahead and move on to Q2. But remember, I mean, even if I got through to Q3 on a set of scrub tires, now, I'm an idiot. I've just realized I'm an idiot. I should have gone out on the scrub set of super soft tires because the race start is scheduled to be wet. I don't have to start on the compound that I'm running in Q2. I'm an absolute idiot, and I've just realized it. So sorry about that, guys. I definitely could have gone out there on the scrub set of super softs, tried to squeeze through into Q3, get a little bit higher up, but I don't know. I guess I was just a little bit flustered from getting used to the wheel and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to briefly talk about, so I am going to do an out lap here. That was one of the things that was mentioned to me by somebody in the comment section. That was Ashley Richardson, actually, was the person that pointed that out to me. So if you actually do an out lap on your tires in Q2, you'll have more tire life when you start your lap, and therefore you would have more tire life at the when you start the race as well. So I am going to be trying to do my I'm going to try and do manual out laps here in Q2 from here on out. Again, it doesn't matter for this particular session because it is supposed to be wet at the start of the race, but it's probably a good habit to get into, so I'm going to start manually doing my out laps. But of course, you guys don't need to watch this stuff, so let's skip ahead. All right, so through the final corner we go to start our one and only lap. Again, you know, I thought I was going to be, I don't know why I was thinking this, but I thought I was going to be starting this race on this set of tires, or potentially if I made it into Q3 anyway. So there's a button mishap right there. So I was trying to open up the DRS, and I accidentally pushed the button to ask Jeff about my tire condition, apparently. So now I've got Jeff chattering away in my ear while I'm trying to do this lap in qualifying. But there we go, I got the DRS open that time. Successfully, no mistakes there. Into the turn 6 hairpin, braking at about the 150-meter board down into second gear. Finding the apex very nicely on this occasion and getting on the throttle nice and early as well. So it's looking pretty good for this lap. But again, you know, on these soft tires, I'm really not expecting to be in the top 10, so we'll see exactly what happens here. Into the left-hander in third gear. Probably could have carried a little bit more speed through there. Fourth gear through this right-hander. Again, I'm running pretty low downforce here, so I do struggle quite a bit in the corners without question in comparison to the AI. They definitely seem to be running higher downforce than me. But with that very, very long straight on the run down towards turn number 6, I really felt that a low downforce setup was going to be the most beneficial here, especially in the race. But again, I really wasn't taking into consideration the rain that was coming. In hindsight, I would have upped the wing angles. I would have added a click of wing angle to both the front and rear wings if I was to go back and do this again. So that is our one and only lap in Q2 all settled. So let's see if that's somehow good enough for the top 10. We can see I am in 10th right now. Yep, and I am ahead of Hulkenberg on Supersofts and Carlos Sainz on Supersofts, so that's encouraging. It definitely seems like I am getting faster. Yeah, I've been knocked down to 14th now already, but that is encouraging. So Romain Grosjean was only 4/10 faster than me, and he was on you know, a compound softer than me. So it definitely seems that I am very quickly adjusting to this new wheel, the Thrustmaster TMX, but unfortunately on those soft compound tires, only good enough for 15th fastest. We were at least able to beat Nico Hulkenberg though by about half a tenth of a second, so we won't be starting from 16th, but we will be starting from 15th, so that is very unfortunate for the race. But again, that should mean that we'll actually move up in the race rather than just dropping down the order, so I am actually looking forward to it in that regard. So, my new schedule, and I just want to kind of talk about this briefly at the end of the video. With my new schedule where I'm working in the evenings, basically I want to be recording as many of these videos as I can during the weekends. I am now off on Saturdays and Sundays. I work Monday through Friday now, whereas before I was off on Wednesdays and Sundays. So I would get quite a bit of recording done on Wednesday, and then also after work and all that kind of stuff. Let's see, are we gonna get enough? Oh, 29 out of 30. Oh, just barely. One more point and we would have beaten our rival Valtteri Bottas. We are going to lose a couple of points in the driver position there. That's to be expected. But so this was recorded on Saturday. I recorded this and the Belgian Grand Prix on Saturday, and I'm planning to release those this week before the weekend. Now, my game crashed there, which is why you're seeing me all of a sudden coming back into this session. And I completely forgot to cut all this out. But yeah, my game crashed and I came back in. I think my display drivers crashed, actually. I may have updated my drivers after that crash, though, just to avoid anything. But so my plan now is to record on Saturdays and Sundays, possibly, and then release during the week. So that is my plan. I'm recording this commentary on Tuesday, but I recorded the race and the races actually on Saturday. So yeah, things are a little bit different. It was a bit of a transition. You know, basically, I started my new shift without having any videos ready to go. So when I got hit with this new shift, my next opportunity to record for real was the following Saturday, which is why there hasn't been a video up until this one. So that's why there was a delay. However, I am looking to get back to doing at least 2 videos per week. of the F1 2016 career mode, possibly 3, and then also Forza Horizon 3 is coming out this week on Thursday night, so I am looking to do daily videos with Forza Horizon 3. So I'm looking to do daily videos with Forza Horizon 3 and 2 or 3 episodes of F1 2016 career mode per week as well. So start expecting quite a bit of content to be coming up on this channel. That's going to do it for this video, though. I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. There is a link down in the description to watch the race if you want to check that out. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.